Hi, I am an emotional wreck. Literally, I just watched the best anime I think I've ever watched in my entire life, and my heart is so full and so broken. I'm gonna be talking to you guys and giving my full out review of Fruits Basket. Okay, this is an anime that started out as a manga in the early 2000s and then was adapted into an older version and then readapted into a newer version. And oh my gosh, like I was recommended this on Reddit. It was recommended to me as a romance, and it is more than that. And it is not solely a romance, it is the most incredible thing I've ever seen. So, for my friends, I just want to give you a little bit brief overview. If you're looking for a recommendation, this video will not have any or significant spoilers. That is the goal. I want to tell you all the tea, but you have to just watch it for yourself. Trust me, I'm going to give you the whole rundown. I have some notes here telling you what it is, why I love it, the flow of the show, the length, my personal rating, where you can watch it, more resources for it, and just the world needs to know about this. And I know that the world does know about this, but my channel needs to know about this because it absolutely destroyed me in all the best ways. So, common themes in Fruits Basket is romance, comedy, and slice of life. I actually tried to watch a slice of life or on high, and I never really got into it. So, when I found out that this was slice of life, when I was like halfway through the show, I was like, what's going on here? I generally watch happy shows just because some of these really intense shows can bring me down. But I would say this is more of like a comedy slice of life companion show with romance towards the end. But there are minor romance themes, but there's a reason that romance could never really truly occur. And overall, oh my gosh, the biggest common theme I want to say is if you are a human who has a lot of emotional trauma from people, your previous past or school or your parents specifically, and you feel like you have been unable to overcome these, or if you feel like you are deeply unlovable, or if you are deeply depressed for whatever reason, or you are just in such a deep pit that you cannot get out of that, I want you to know that one, there are resources in the world, and two, this show will bring all of that to life and remind you every single reason why you are so loved and how you can change and become a new person. I just cannot emphasize enough the amount of kindness, generosity, the amount of I'm gonna get into it in a little bit. So, what is it? It is a story about a girl who has become orphaned in high school, and she unexpectedly finds a home with these three boys. One is a man, he's like the guardian, his name is Shigure, and then there are two, it's Kyo and Yuki. Kyo and Yuki are unexpectedly zodiac members. So in Chinese zodiac culture, there are like 12 zodiac animals, but there's a 13th. The 13th is kind of like the cursed one, or the unspoken one. In certain cultures it is spoken, in some cultures it isn't spoken of, but he in this one is like the cursed one, and he's the cat. So Yuki is actually the rat, Kyo is the cat, and these are common themes, and then Shigure is the dog. There's many others, like there's a tiger, there's an ox, there's a whole bunch of different animals. But what happens is when the opposite sex touches or like embraces, so like they can touch hands and arms and face and whatever, but if they embrace each other, those humans, Yuki, Kyo, Shigure, become animals of the zodiac, and that's part of their curse. And so they actually have bonds between each other and between all 12 of them, and 13 technically, and then they have like a overall head of the home named Akito. And so pretty much it's just this curse that has continued to relive, but these children, these adults that have grown up as these animals / human, kind of, they've just been possessed by these animals, are unable to create real relationships because of their issues, and therefore they cling to each other more. But there are a lot of underlying abuse and neglect factors that happens when you are a child of the zodiac, and it is extremely painful for a lot of them. But in general, there is a lot of emphasis on extreme pain in life in general, and almost the feeling of being unable to overcome it on your own. So in general, the theme is around the relationship. So the main character, her name is Toru Honda. She is so cute. At first, when you meet her, like not meet her, but when you watch her, she seems almost ingenuine, just doesn't make sense. You're like, what's wrong with this chick? Why does she talk like this? But turns out that she is truly just the most genuine, sweet girl in the universe. And she's very hardworking, and she's doing everything she can just to stay afloat. In the beginning of the show, she's literally living in a tent, and it turns out that she's able to live with this family, these 3 boys who are part of this larger family called the Soma family, who are very wealthy, but not all the Somas know about the zodiac. So Toru is notoriously clumsy and notoriously just getting herself into trouble unexpectedly, in all the right ways, and she just accidentally transforms them and finds out immediately. And so she's been left with the ability to hang on to the secret or lose her memories, and she's able to hang on to the secret. Over time, she has all these adventures. The cat and the rat, Kyo and Yuki, are really, really fighting. They have a lot of personal issues. There's just a lot of tension, a lot of strain. And the first season really focuses on the emotional attachment and just kind of like the healing of all of the tension that's been going on. But then it transitions into a different type of tension in the second season. But you can tell in the first season, there's just something so special about Toru. It's very, very clear. And there is naturally, Toru has already had a very close connection to the zodiac because her mom really shared that with her when she was a child. So there is a huge connection going on, and it all just kind of feels like it's meant to be. And she has this very dainty, light voice, and she's very kind and very understanding, doesn't doubt anybody. She takes everything for face value, even if it seems absurd, and really leaves herself in a vulnerable position all the time to continually be hurt. However, there's just something so pure about her and the way that she loves that these characters are nothing but drawn to her, and eventually all of the zodiac is drawn to her. That's not a secret, so that's not a spoiler. But here's why it touched me so much, and here's why I truly believe that it needs to be consumed by people. And I don't think that every anime needs to be watched. I think that there's a lot of danger in what we consume. But as somebody who has experienced a lot of pain in life, in many different ways, and as you probably have too, whether you want to regard it or not, everybody has trauma, I would say. And I think there's a lot of emphasis with our generation nowadays on childhood trauma, which is important to bring up. I think it's 100% the reason why a lot of people are the way that they are. And especially if it comes from a parent or from somebody that you highly regard, that's really hard to deal with. And it's something that we as humans have to move forward with. We carry that with us our entire lives, and we either find ways to deal with it or accept it, or we don't. And that can make or break our life choices. Life is literally just choices on choices, and your reaction, and you only react based on everything that you've ever experienced. So with that, I personally have experienced a struggle to deal with change. And that is a very common theme in this entire series. It is very hard to accept that there are seasons in life that you are going to move forward through, and you are never going to relive as much as you want to relive it. And so taking the time to appreciate and be fully present. And so as all these characters are moving through their problems, and as you learn their backstories, Toru is with them every step of the way. And that's not to say that Toru doesn't have her own issues. Toru has a lot of personal issues. But at the root of it, it's just the fact of knowing that someone is there and someone's going to love you regardless of how bad you think your past is. And this is something that I've learned from this show, and I want to apply to my everyday life. Like, everybody has made mistakes, and life is really freaking hard. But you had the opportunity every single day to wake up, be productive, do something with your life, and to be a new person. And you are so loved regardless of your past, regardless of your future. Taking one step every day at a time, and you can get through it. And so Toru just reminds me to be kind and to be gentle and just take it easy. It's gonna be okay. Like, there's a lot that everybody is going through, and I know that's so cliche, but until you watch Fruits Basket, you won't know and you won't get it. But trust me, if you feel like you have emotional turmoil that you have not dealt with, but you kind of want to go through it with other people, you want to relate. There's literally so many characters in this show that have so many different experiences with parents, with people. There's no doubt that there's something that you're probably going to be like, I can relate to that, and I understand why this character feels the way it is. And it is spelled out so simply to understand, and it almost makes me think, like, why do I overcomplicate everything that I have experienced, everything that I struggle with in my head? Like, why do I find excuses? Why can't I just see it for face value? And these characters go through it, take the time to process it, and come out on the other side a new person, and you feel like you go through that with them. I truly cannot emphasize enough, one, that this is a very meaningful and impactful show. It is comedic, it is enjoyable. There's nothing wrong with this show. Like, it's absolutely everything I could have imagined and more. And when I watched this, I was looking for a romance. This is absolutely a companionship with romance hints at the end. I'm obsessed with the way that the romance did progress. I think it was elegant, I think it was beautiful, and I think that it was incredibly tasteful and enjoyable. So if you feel in any capacity you are unloved, I want you to know you are loved and you are awesome, and it's gonna be okay. But you will never let go of that if you don't fix your heart first. And that is something I am working on every single day of my life. As much as I want to sink into my couch some days and be a potato and do nothing, that is not helping my heart. It is not helping my mind. It is not helping my body. It is not helping me. It is not serving me. However, working hard, serving with excellence, appreciating the present, being on your phone less, taking the time to appreciate the people around you and valuing them for who they are today, not who they were. These are all of the themes and more that I could have ever have asked for. So please, I wish that I could go in depth, but please watch this anime if you feel like any inkling of this could resonate with you, because it's incredible. I will say, the second season, there are like some side character stories that are really important, that have value, and they might resonate with you. They didn't resonate with me as much, but mostly I enjoy like main character story flow, if that makes sense. But the second season is really important for this transition into the third season, of really just like, okay, I'm the caterpillar first season, I'm in my cocoon second season, and I'm emerging as a butterfly third season. It gives me chills thinking about it. I just like, it's been on my mind so much, and it was such a beautiful story. Oh my gosh, I've never seen anything like it. So I'm a huge anime person. As of the past few years, I know some of like the anime realm isn't really into that. They're like, oh, like, you're just like backpacking off anime. I just never found an anime that I loved until a few years ago, and I've seen quite a bit now, and I really, really have grown to enjoy it. But I've also been a kid at heart. Like, I'm super much a kid at heart. I can't watch shows like Breaking Bad or things like that. It's just too intense. It gives me anxiety. It makes me paranoid. It freaks me out. But something about anime, the sounds, the graphics, I can comprehend it in my mind well. If you've never watched anime, Fruits Basket is great. I would say it probably might be a little bit, it might just be a little bit hard to watch if you've never, ever watched anime. If you're looking for a good first anime, oh, this is controversial. I really love Sword Art Online. I think the first season is great. There's opportunities to really divulge more into it if you want to, and it's easily accessible. Sword Art Online's great. Hunter x Hunter is great. Or if you're really looking for something super basic, it's not considered an anime, but it is animated, and I think it's kind of like an anime. The Avatar: The Last Airbender. Hang tight through the first season. The second season has a huge amount of character development. I love the Avatar: The Last Airbender. Seriously, I'm so stoked to get some merch for all of these. But I didn't think that there was an anime because I'm currently reading the light novels for Sword Art Online. I'm on light novel 6. I'm actually listening to the Audible book because it came out with the voice actors that were going and reading it, which is really cool. But that's not the point of this whole video. I highly recommend those 3. But man, if you just need something to change your life and get emotionally attached to and fall in love with the characters and the comedy, please give Fruits Basket a try. I don't want to give away why it's called Fruits Basket. You will figure it out, I think, in the first season. It's pretty clear why it's called Fruits Basket. This is my new #1 anime, and I didn't think that could be topped. Fruits Basket is #1 for me. Incredible anime. You can watch it on Funimation or Crunchyroll. There might be other places that you can watch it. I'm not quite sure. When it comes to the end, if you're looking for more resources, for me, oh my gosh, this is a spoiler. Close your ears if you don't want to hear it. Just like 10 seconds. Just like close your ears. I need more Kyo and Toru information. I'm going to die if I don't have it. Okay, you can keep listening now. If you're looking for fanfics, there's a ton of resources. I also highly recommend the Fruits Basket Reddit page. There is a huge set of resources on the Fruits Basket Reddit page. A lot of great questions that you can ask. There's also called Fruits Basket Another, which actually has all of the characters' children, who the main characters, hey, what are you doing? The main characters who are involved are not actually present in it, but their children, which isn't really a spoiler, will be in it, and they'll talk about their parents and give more background. There's also manga, and then there's going to be a prelude, which is about Toru's parents who have passed, and their love story, and more about Toru, I believe, a little bit. Also, if you haven't seen it already, I watched a scene from it. There's only one small scene that has Toru. Okay, close your ears. Close your ears for 10 seconds again. Toru and Kyo, and they're married, and it's just so precious. And there's a lot of like implications that are in the comments of that video. I can put that video link in my description. Okay, you're good to listen. So if you want to watch that video, it's in my description. I'll put it there for you guys. But don't watch that video. It has spoilers. Don't watch it if you haven't watched it yet. Save it till after you finished Fruits Basket. So overall, on this channel, I want to express love, patience, frugality. I want to work on myself with you guys while you work on yourselves. None of us are perfect. We're literally never going to be perfect, but I hope you know, like, there is nothing so terrible that you can do that will make you unloved in any capacity, at least not by me. So I hope you know that, and you are an amazing human capable of doing anything that you want in any time in your life. There's no cap. I've always felt an intense cap on my life. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be like a Disney Channel actor, and I saw all these 12-year-old actors, and I was 16, and I was like, oh, I could never be a Disney Channel actor. I'm too old. And now I'm sitting here at 23 thinking my life is going by too slow. Like, I'm not fast enough. I'm comparing myself. Like, comparison is the thief of joy. Like, I'm not doing good enough, you know? And the reality is, like, enjoy your season. You know, like, you don't need to be going super fast. It's gonna fly by. You're gonna miss it while you're looking towards the future. Like, the future doesn't exist. Every day is today until you die. And I know that kind of sounds a little morbid, but like, just take it easy on yourself. And so that's something that I'm learning. And I hope you guys can learn that with me and appreciate that with me. But if anything I have said this entire time has resonated with you a little, this is your time to go watch Fruits Basket. Seriously. Go watch it. Go get like a free trial for Funimation and binge it. Well, don't binge it. You're going to be really disappointed because it's going to be over so soon. But it's truly the most perfect amount of content, the most perfect story. And it is absolutely, I bet 1,000% applicable to everybody. There is not one story in there, not one moment in there that is not applicable and amazing. My dogs are about to bark at somebody out the window, so I'm gonna go. But I want you to know I love you. I'm gonna be posting weekly, so I will see you in the next one. Talk to you later. Bye.